putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Mr. Mayor, Jonah Recknitz has his cell phone number.
Did he call you on your cell phone?
Mayor, New Yorkers deserve a right to know, Mayor.
Did you sell access to City Hall, Mr. Mayor? What's your price, Mr. Mayor? Did you sell access to City Hall?
No
Not taking questions
questions.
right now. No questions.
Thank you, Will.
When will you talk, Mayor, about this? When will you talk?
Thank you.
Talk about Jonah Recknitz.
Mayor, it takes 1 minute, Mayor.
Recknitz's testimony.
1 minute, Mayor.
He testified he called you every week, Mr. Mayor. Did you talk to him every week?
Mr. Mayor, do you think Ross Offinger's relationship with Recknitz is appropriate?
Mr. Mayor, you said you barely knew him. Was that a lie?
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. That's a funny clip. I want to talk about Kevin Spacey in a second, but that was de Blasio, and he's running from the press who are asking him about a donor, a guy named Jonah Recknitz. I think that's how they say his name. And this is a guy who said, I bought de Blasio for $100,000. And then he also talked about the policeman's fund or something, like their pension plan. He was wooing one of the guys who's over that, some brother, to put the money into his investment company. And so he was flying these guys around. He took them to Israel. He took them to, Final Four basketball game. I mean, he spent a fortune on these guys, and he, essentially whining, dining them. I mean, they show him jet set. He's buying these guys hookers. He's buying them presents, jet set life. And they are loving it. He's got them on video. Access is what they wanted. And now every one of them, it's a talking point. You should hear him. He's a complete fraud. Nothing that comes out of his mouth should be believed, is what de Blasio said, what the black dude who's under fire said. And this is a guy now, he's been caught. Jonah Recknitz or whatever. He's been caught. Recknitz. Is that the way they say it? He's been caught. He's now turning state's evidence. He's testifying against these guys saying, look, I got nothing to lose here. I'm telling you what happened. They're crooks. And they're all disavowing. I probably don't even know the guy if you were to put him in a lineup. And he goes, oh, yeah, I happen to have his number right here. And they asked de Blasio, can we have your phone records? And he pretended to be outraged. That's outrageous to imply that I have phone calls to Recknitz on my phone. And they go, well, just turn over your records. It's easy to do. But he won't. He prefers to remain outraged. So you know what the deal is, right? They got his records, of course. He's been calling the guy. Can Anonymous hack into there and get his records and show that he's been called? He called Jonah Recknitz or whatever his name is. It's gonna prove it. And of course they got a mayor's race in New York. So finally, de Blasio comes out and he says, he forcefully, I did not have sexual relations with that guy Jonah Recknitz. No, it's not. That was Clinton, right? Or was that Weiner? Who was that said they didn't have sex with Jonah? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying in my joking, right? This is a guy that's gonna deny, because that's what he's been trained to do. He cannot tell you the truth. Too much skin in the game. So he's going to deny it. But we know the truth. He's crooked. All of them are crooked. All those guys, no matter what level they rise to, the reason why they're crooked, they come up in a system that rewards the evil. If you're a guy and you're over the police pension and you want to do it by the book and do it right and take care of the policemen and make sure that they are cared for properly and their money's invested well, man, they are going to drag you through the street like Bird, like those white supremacists did in Houston when they dragged that black dude down the road. That's what they will do to you. You can't play it by the book in politics unless you're a billionaire and you don't care. There you go. Anyway, interesting story, but I wanted to talk about Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was accused of being a pedophile, hitting on a 14-year-old boy back in the day. And you'll know the actor. I didn't know him. I had to look at his face, and then I recognized him. And the actor's 46, Spacey's 58, I believe. And he said, yeah, when I was 14 years old, this guy's like, making passes at me. And Spacey says, hey, I was doing a lot of drugs. I was drinking a lot. Maybe that was it. And oh, by the way, I'm gay. Now, that's like the Harvey Weinstein secret that's not so secret of Hollywood. You may not know that, America, but everybody in Hollywood knows Kevin Spacey is gay. I remember when I found it out 2 decades ago and went, what? He gay? I can't believe it. Anyway, that was it. So every movie I've seen him in, I see him in House of Cards kissing on men, and they allude to his bisexuality in the show. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, he plays a bisexual in there. And I just, when I saw it, I went, well, he's indulging the other side of his alter ego or whatever, because he's gay. Dude's been gay. But been gay. He's not been gay. You don't rub him on your arm unless you're gay. So we find this out, but that was his defense. I'm drunk, and oh, by the way, I should just come out and let you guys know I'm gay. And Melissa was saying to me, that's it. The roles he plays are Kevin Spacey. Quick story about him, then I'll finish up. One of my friends is the Secret Service. Spacey's good friends with the Clintons. Surprise. He wanted to go. He was at the White House, wanted to see Bill Clinton. Tried to barge in past Secret Service. A friend of mine. My friend says, sir, you're going to have to wait. And pushes him back. Big guy. My friend's a big Secret Service guy. Kevin Spacey's like, do you know who I am? And goes on to tell him how he could ruin his life and all that. And my friend says, I know who you are. And he says, and what I just told you is, you will not get in to see the president until he authorizes it. So step back and stay. He said Spacey leered at him like he could just kill him. Finally, Clinton brings him in. Who knows what they did? Probably had hookers in there, or male hookers. And then Spacey leaves, and he's mad at my buddy. But here's my point of the whole thing about Spacey. He believes that's going to be enough to get him out of this deal. That's all it's going to take is for him to say, I'm gay. And he falls under the protective umbrella of what? The LGBTQ community? Is that the deal? Look, I don't know what he did to this boy. But what I will tell you is this, and they say that there's a lot more. It isn't just this one kid. And that's where I go back to his personality, this forceful personality that says, you'll do what I tell you. And luckily, the Secret Service friend of mine is like, whatever, chump, because he would have laid Spacey out. End of story. But I want you to take that personality and apply it into Hollywood, where you're a big deal. Even this guy that he supposedly made a pass at when the kid was 14 years old, which would have made Spacey 26. He said, this is a guy, he never talked to him afterwards. And he says, but this is a guy who went on to have a lot of power in Hollywood. And I believe that he would have talked to other people that way. He goes, it was a forceful way in which he talked to me about, whatever the proposition was. And I don't know. I think the kid said if it hadn't been for my parents or some good, people around me, who knows? Wonder, we're going to find out more from Corey Feldman. Is this one of the people that molested Corey? I don't know. Don't know. Don't really care. But all I'm saying is there's more to this story. It's starting to leak out. They got another guy in Hollywood. Don't remember the name of the company. We'll cover it in more detail later on. But they finally outed him. Now, Spacey, to me, I've always thought of him as just an actor. But you got to keep in mind, he executive produces House of Cards. He and Robin Wright. She used to be Robin Wright Penn. But Robin Wright, thankfully, she dropped that 180-pound tick named Sean that used to hang off of her. But they executive produced the show. So they have a lot more clout than just actors anymore. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to condemn Spacey. In fact, he's been one of my favorite actors. I've never known about his politics outside of my buddy telling me he's a big-time fan of Clinton. And then I learned, of course, he obviously is a big-time leftist. But it wasn't in your face. He's not proselytizing, sitting on corners and talking to people about stuff like Mark Ruffalo, for example. Everything that comes up, he's got to give you some, well, here's what's going on, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. No. He's been behind the scenes. I haven't cared. When I learned that he was gay, it was like, who cares? He's a good actor. Strangely good actor. One of the top 10 in my book. But it doesn't exonerate him. And I want you to remember what I told you. Good friends of the Clintons, that will come out at some point. The dominoes start to fall, folks. They're going to keep on falling.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.